W1LWT, August 3rd at about 7 o'clock, catching the Cracker Barrel net on 3.921, 80 meters. And we're using the same basic setup I've been using all along, a 9-to-1 Ballum with an Ed-fed wire of 25 feet, 18-foot coax to the 706. Tonight I am located down in Topsham at the boat ramp on the Lisbon Falls and Topsham town line, and that's the boat ramp right there, and that's the highway right there, 196, going to Brunswick to Lewiston. Okay.
For that kind of stuff. But, if you want to get stuff from the old house and all that, it might be a little hard to work with. But, it's moved on a little bit. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of ways in it. 80 years old and still working fine, so. Somebody looks at it as, it's just no enough, but it's actually not. It's more than adequate for lots of times, especially, projects and stuff like that. Anyways, I'm out here. Back to back. Go ahead, please. I want JTB. And one JTB. It should.
The one FK and one MCA.
And it's interesting to do things like that. I always thought it was fun. These things made. When I have a call, I'm going to try to keep the crack about it. If you want to okay, get in that. 81GL. Alright, I got Paul and I got... I think that was Chuck. Is that correct?
Alpha Bravo 1, 6 Lima.
Okay, I'll call Bob in first and I'll go back to you when they get off. Go in, Bob. The way I received you. Go in, Bob. Okay, very good. They're down here. They did tell you. And you ate all aboard the net. And they want to ride to the downtown LA, man. I'm home tonight. Last night, laying out down in Maggie Island. And off-night portable from down there. And some beautiful spots. Very, very beautiful. In fact, I think it would be a good place to deploy as a group to go down and operate, maybe for, maybe for one day. The only thing is, not a lot of room, so we'd have to only operate one band at a time. We wouldn't be able to operate 20 meters, and then someone a little bit farther away operate another band, and to do the same band, one at a time. But that's not a problem either. That wouldn't be a problem at all. But anyway, we'll have to discuss that. We'll run it by Jerry and Mark and see what they think about it. But see what happens there. But anyway, yesterday coming back, you see the strangest people walking around the street. We were going through Brunswick yesterday, and we were headed out actually. And here's this guy walking down the street. He had a gas mask on. A gas mask, yeah. And one of them freaky looking ones there. Something that probably looked like he'd come out of a horror movie. But I told Lee, I said, I hope he doesn't know something we don't. But I said, it's just weird to see him walking down the street. And he was walking down the road just like, just like he knew what he was doing. Of course, I guess he did, but anyway, we had a good laugh about that. But anyway, Yesterday was my granddaughter's birthday. She turned 16 years old. Boy, I tell you what, God, they grew up so quick. But anyway, took her out to lunch today. For her birthday lunch. I take her out every year on her birthday. I take my daughter out every year on her birthday and Mother's Day for lunch. So we done that. And let me see here. Ken stopped by today. In one DOT, he got a new car. Nice car, very nice Outback. And he stopped by and showed it to me. And we looked over real good. Then we came in, had a cup of coffee. So it's good to have Ken stop by. It's been a while since he's been in this area. So, but he did a good deal. I think he's got a good car now that's going to last him for many, many years. But anyway, let me see here. It's been a little bit on the warmer side today than yesterday. It was nice down at the beach. I mean, we had a nice breeze, and it was just really, really nice. But today it got up to 86 here in town, 65 for the low this morning. And at the moment we're 79 degrees, 54% on that humidity, and the dew point is at 61 degrees. So it's a little bit high, but at least it's a little bit lower than it was earlier today. Earlier it was up to 65, so it has come down a little bit. But anyway, Don, other than that, I'm a little bit on the tired side, so this is going to be my only go-around. We'll listen out through the net, but this is going to be my only go-around tonight. So with that, back to net. NJ1Y, W1LTX. W1LTX, W1LTX. Well, do you, I saw some of your videos on Facebook there. Do you actually take those? I think it was somebody else that you put in there once there of some things going on. I saw something trying to do. I can't imagine you finding it to do yourself, though, to take the pictures of. Although, on the news tonight on Channel 13, there was a flash of a dirt bike in the ocean, on power, on purpose, going right along in the waves, under full power, and the guy was riding it real good. So we'll pick up Chuck. I heard you mention that earlier. AB1BL, Jersey 1 Yankee. Yeah, he might comment to you, Don, first.
W1LWT.
You'll hear me. Yeah, okay, very good there. Now that video I took myself. That one video I did myself. And most of the pictures were taken myself. He took some pictures. So there's just a bunch of pictures, and some of them I took. I've got a selfie stick, if you will, that helps whenever I want to make a video of myself or some pictures and this sort of thing. It works out pretty good. Even though Channel 13 News said that they were going to outlaw them selfie sticks for some reason, I never did understand that one there. But anyway, Don, with that, back to that. W1Y, W1LTX.
W1LWT.
I hear you, Lee. I'll pick up Chuck and I'll get right back to you. Are you at home?
No, I am portable. W1LWT, we are portable. Back to the net.
NJ1Y and the group. This is Chuck, AB1VL, and Cruiseport, and and all the rest of the guys. I was a little bit late because I was working real hard to get Crete, which is now in the log. He was working split, and put him up on CW. So another entity, and also checked on LOTW, and I got the last two, Israel and Bosnia, although I had a couple more Bosnians before that, but anyway, I got them on Israel on 17 meters a few days ago, and Bosnia on 20, and tonight Crete on 20 meters. So pretty good day today. Got the weed whacker out and beat back the jungle until it got too hot, along with the taking money for a walk. And did some antenna modeling, and more on that later, but I'm just about ready to start putting up my vertical 80-meter delta. So more about that later, and back to net for maybe 1BL.
AV1, yeah. New Jersey 1 Yankee. Wow, I'm sure y'all place it. You might think it's a jungle, but it's not nearly as much of a jungle as behind my RV. Walking there. I got two weed whackers, but neither one of them work. I got one given to me. The switch don't work, and the other I'm supposed to pay $20 for. I need to some sort of move to go back to the gas tank. Back to the gas tank. So it won't run all over you. I'm going to pick up Lee out of order because I could hardly hear it. So if you want LWT, New Jersey 1 Yankee.
Well, good evening. Can you hear me okay? I just tuned in and making sure everything's okay here. Do you got a copy of me there, Don? Don, do you have a copy of W1LWT here?
W1LWT. Maybe Lee or Bob can hear you better than I do. But I can hardly, the static is so sweet at my end, it covers you right up. Lee or Bob, can you give me a relay on Lee?
Let's see if Bob's out there. W1LTX, are you still there? Can you copy me? Jerry, W1L, K1WTX, can you hear me, Jerry?
Don, I can't hear him very well. I can't hear him very well either. I get the word here and there, and that's it.
Okay, I'll come in real short. I am located portable tonight down in Top Sam, down at the boat ramp off of 196 on the Lisbon and Top Sam town line at the boat ramp. Set up portable, but the static is really bad tonight. The lightning out there in the distance is really bad. Back to you, Don. Back to the net. W1LWT.
W1LWT. I copied about 1%. I'm glad to have you aboard. Maybe we'll get back to you. It might be a little dark and a little better to hear you. But you're just not loud enough to get over the static up here. And my static is well over, probably a 10 now. The storms are only just a few miles away from me. Nothing. It's not raining here yet. I haven't seen any lightning out there. But we'll go on and pick up Paul. Hopefully I can hear him. KB1, QHR, New Jersey 1 Yankee. The radio is right now, but here with Lee and back control, KB1, QHR, New Jersey 1 Yankee. Well, I didn't get too much, I got some of that ball. I have to say you had a good time anyhow. I think you said you would hear Lee, but I wasn't sure. But anyhow, anybody else out there for the Cracker Barrel net before I go back to the beginning? Well, if you're calling in, I couldn't reach you, so I want to go back to Jerry. K1WTX, New Jersey 1 Yankee. Already done. K1WTX returning, and boy, it's a tough night. I could hear Lee from time to time. He was in and out. I have no idea where he was. And I kind of was hoping that Bob could hear him, but he's apparently set up somewhere, and I don't see a response from him on the email, so I really have no idea where he is. But anyway, glad you got back to me when you did. That means Dan is coming up next. We'll get him here for the second go-around. And Dan, you said that welding is a black art to you. Well, you're not alone. Welding is a black art to me, too. I have no formal training in welding, and I just kind of buzz along as I go there. there's a whole lot of things to learn about welding and making it right. But the biggest thing about welding is establishing the arc. Once you get the arc established, almost anybody can weld. It may not be pretty, but almost anybody can weld. But the problem is, just anybody can establish an arc. I bounced all over the place 2 or 3 times. I actually tacked my welding rod and my light strips 2 or 3 times, and I had to grind them down afterwards. They're all pitted up now, but I got the job done. And hey, with a mini grinder, you can always grind down what looks like a poor weld and make it look pretty. And all I got to do now is find some magic tape. It was Larry last night that told us all about the International Space Station making a transit over Maine. And the wife and I went out on the deck around 9:18, and sure enough, up she came from the west-southwest. We watched it for about 5 minutes until it descended off in the east-northeast. And the most interesting thing about it was almost nearly overhead. Its maximum height was 86 degrees. And it was at about the maximum height directly overhead. Another piece of space junk crossed its path at a right angle. Because it looks like they're going to collide, but they're probably 50 miles apart. But I thought that was kind of interesting, and the wife asked what that was, and I said it's apparently another satellite. Well, interestingly enough, on the 11 o'clock news, they mentioned the satellite, the shuttle passing over, and how many people saw it. There were a lot of viewers submitted shots. But the meteorologist who was going through the description also said that some other people mentioned that they too saw this other satellite. He did some research and he found out that from the orbit information that everybody provided, that was a piece of rocket booster from the old Soviet Union, something that was launched way back in 1982. Still floating around up there, one of the pieces of space junk that people have to avoid when they're zipping around in orbit up there, I guess. It's a strange thing to try to conceive of, but there is a lot of junk floating around out there. That's about it for me, Don. I'm going to hunker down here and probably watch the Doppler throughout the evening and see what wicked things are coming my way. That's coming to you, K1WTX. K1WTX. Take care of you, buddy. Yankee. Well, so far there's nothing here, so probably all going your way or not. That's probably why Larry's not on tonight. I think he's on, we just can't hear it. It's too much noise. We'll go right up and get Dan. KB1WAW. Yankee. Okay, Don, thank you. Good evening again. Second time for KB1WAW. I also could barely hear Paul. I could not hear Lee. I was able to get Bob, though, and that's an interesting story Bob told. I figured that after all that welding, that was Jerry walking down the street in Lewiston with the gas mask on. But it's good to know, Jerry, that, doing any kind of a job at all, you always look better when you know how to cover your tracks, and if a good grinder will do it, then you make sure you have a good grinder. That's it. But I never tried welding. I never tried it, and I probably never will. But it's an interesting skill, and I'm always interested in learning new things. So maybe someday I'll give it a shot. I've seen the International Space Station go overhead, directly overhead, when we were in Winterport, and it's just an impressive sight right at sunset. The sun is on it and all that stuff. And you see that space junk around. It's a very impressive sight. And, it's one thing I love to do up in the Cove, and that is get out on the deck, and I'll be out there at 11 o'clock at night, midnight, just with my head cricked back and my neck sore as a devil, but just watching all the stuff going by. There's very little light pollution up there, and the amazing amount of stuff that's moving around in the sky at night is although a lot of stuff's now geostationary, but there's a lot of stuff moving, and it's just incredible to watch it sometimes. But anyway, Rick, that switch that I've got on that unit, the capacitor looks good, and I was reading, finally found a place online that had a schematic on the motor, and they said if the capacitor is blown out, which mine is not, by the way, if the capacitor is blown out, you can bypass it and just directly connect the wires that are running through it. Just directly connect them across it, and the only factor with the capacitor is for interference with TVs and things like that locally, but so that's not a factor here. So everything seems to be working, but I'm going to hotwire the three-way switch, and I believe I'm going to have an operable motor. I've got it running already once, but I'll probably solder up some kind of a harness and put a separate switch out and run it remotely. And I think it's all going to work. So anyway, that's it. A lot of fun, no real good gain there. KV1WAW, back to the net. KV1 WAW. That's U1 Yankee. Well, don't forget the oil in it. I hear something right around here, so I better hurry. And get everybody. We'll go right down and get N1 JTV. Here's U1 Yankee. Thank you. Good evening again, everybody. N1 JTV, correct at Santa Fe. It's currently 79 degrees. It only dropped down 1 degree in 1.5 hours. And other than that area is pretty much the same. No crews out the first year. I guess they either ate all the seeds or they went someplace else. So what are you going to do? Actually, it's not bad out here. A little bit of a breezer makes all the difference in the world. Of course, the humidity's not that high either, but still, not too bad outside. And, yeah, Dan, no, don't do that. You wrote that article, but that's not correct. That capacitor gives a phase difference so that the motor will actually start to turn. If you short it out and then turn it out, there's a good chance you're going to burn some windings up. But I don't know, it's just my opinion. No, I'm not a motor expert. But also there's, depending on the motor, there might be a motor starting switch. Sometimes it's called a centrifugal switch. It's under one of the back it's under the back cover on the motor. You'll see it as like some sort of, but what's that, the valve, I think they call it? It's got like, it's kind of shaped like a contact in the center of it going down to a stationary contact. What that does, it disengages the starting winding. When it gets up to speed, there's a centrifugal weight in there to pop the switch open so it doesn't keep going. And to be on the, be on the run winding instead of the start winding. So that's something else to check. They go for it as well. A lot of times you can just take a point file or something like that. Just kind of scuff it up a little bit, or even anything like that that's the braces to kind of take the oxidation off. That'll make a difference. But no, don't just short out the start capacitor. You're going to have problems guaranteed. Anyways, I'm babbling on here. Comment. Go ahead. Oh, this was mostly for you. Just got a special alert in from the National Weather Service by email. This affects us until 8:30 this evening.